Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna test the VFL Traceable patch lids. It's gonna be a test of the 8 cores and 16 cores trunks, and the idea behind that was to create a product which is traceable, but it's only using the equipment you've got in your toolbox. So I've got the VFL, 2 sets of simplex patch codes, because my VFL doesn't have an adapter, so I have to use the patch codes to change from 2.5 to 1.25 millimeter ferrule adapter, and that's it. Before we start, I would like to measure the light here. In this, it's a daylight. There is a lamp on the desk, so I think we are running of around 500-600 lux, which is something should be brighter than a typical data center environment. I think it's like a typical office, which is between 300 and 500 lux. So let me take a look at the product first and try to see the features. Let me open it and look at one end. So I took the first one, which is the 600 millimeter sight, and it does feature an extra LC connector, which is about 10 centimeters long from the breakout, plus the standard LC 4x LC unibut duplex on the side. The other side is gonna look very similar, so it does have a longer breakout. It's going to be 1.5 meter, and obviously a similar identical breakout on the other side. So let me first plug the equipment together and see what we can observe. Okay, power on. As you can see, the light is quite clearly visible on the other side, so it goes through all the patch lids, and on the other side of the breakout you can see it. It can be a flashing mode, which is even better to be seen. So as you can see, the light on the other side is quite bright, so quite easy to be noticed. If your toolbox has a multi-mode patch codes, let me try the multi-mode patch code as well. I think it works more or less the same. You can see a maybe slightly less signal coming out, but still is visible. So whatever you have in your toolbox, it's going to work in those traceable patch lids. I wanted also to show what's going to happen if we remove the dust cap. Obviously the signal is much less visible unless you put it on the cable. So the dust cap means that it's really important part of the feature. It can be easily identified. Let me try also a situation where you have a number of cables together and maybe the stuff is a little bit hidden. So let me try to hide the small connector in between several cables and try again if this is visible. As we can see, we still can observe the signal even if it's covered by multiple fiber. Let me look at protecting the additional connector and fiber. I look at that, and there are obviously several options. but I do not think that we need an extremely strong protection like a pulling eye or like a nylon socket on the additional VFL traceable leg. I looked at a plastic, easy to remove, either using a cable ties, Velcro, or those plastic ties there. It's gonna be easy to remove. And also during the installation, I think the connector would be nice if it's fixed to the other legs as well. I do believe that's more or less enough protection that we need at this stage. And if I imagine that the pulling of those cables is that you bring a couple of those breakouts together and just move across the cable tray, the plastic protection should be enough. It doesn't take very long to remove those ties, so after installation we can easily handle that. And have the product ready to be used. So finally, I would like to see the practical test on identifying within a number of assemblies put together. So I've got a couple of 8 cores and a 16 cores VFL traceable trunks installed in one place, and we'll try to see if identification of the right one is easy. We can see the signal flashing out. We definitely can turn it to the right side, and obviously because all the connectors are together, are very close to the breakout, that's definitely this trunk that is flashing. So we can either cut it here and start removing the cable from the cable tray and from the other side of the connectors. And also, if I want to try if we can plug the adapter, if we have a bunch of cables together. So let me change the direction. Well, I tried a 16 cores, promised to test it, but obviously this is one of those testing equipment. We can plug the adapter, there's no problem, even if we have a number of cables. And it flashes because I use the same to multiple the breakouts here. So generally I think it is a functional solution that will allow you to identify the proper cables, and it can work with 8 cores, 16 cores, 24, up to 70 or 144. So no matter, the principle is the same. So there's an extra fiber across the trunk. The final conclusion. It looks definitely that the system works. The visible light is bright. It's very easy to be noticed, even with the daylight and the additional light put on. We still can see how this works with the dust cap. The improvement I would immediately notice would be, first of all, to fix the extra LC connector to the other legs. I used the plastic tape here, the transparent one, but it's still very functional. To change the color of the housing into transparent as well, as the first part is transparent already. There might be a change into the boot color just to make it orange or whatever other color, not to be just white. The additional thing, in order not to lose the dust cap, as they seem important, I can consider putting a soft glue just to keep it a little bit stronger and not to let it remove by accident, but not to be very strong to be very difficult to be removed. So generally I think that's the end. I would welcome some comments, some investigation and testing, and I think the product would be just nearly finished to be set up on the market. Thank you very much.